In today's video, we are going to be talking about what is on every single brand's mind right now. How do I advertise? How do I thoughtfully gain new customers? How do I reach out to old customers appropriately during COVID-19? This is an unprecedented time. Marketing can feel really icky, but it doesn't have to. And in today's video, we're going to talk about how, why, what's the good way to approach this. I'm Meredith, the creative director at Biddyco, and we help e-commerce companies scale their paid traffic. So let's figure this out together. Before I start this video, I just want to say that we don't take this lightly in any way, shape, or form. We really understand how serious this is, not only from a brand side, but from the consumer side even more so. It's scary, it's uncertain, there is so much going on. So if there is anything that you take away from this video, please let it be this. Tread lightly, tread thoughtfully, tread carefully, tread appropriately. I'm sure you've already seen in your newsfeed people who are doing this the right way and people who are doing this the wrong way. And it's my job today to help you figure out, A, should you still be spending? B, if you do want to continue spending on your marketing budget, whether it's through ads or, all the other different places, how to do it appropriately, how to message it, how to position yourself. And then further, for the brands who maybe this just isn't the right time to be, spending money on advertising. What do you do? How do you still make it through this time? So again, be appropriate. Don't fearmonger. Don't take advantage of customers. Don't turn people away. And also, I want to encourage you not to stop selling in whatever way you can, because there are ways to do this thoughtfully, appropriately, and the right way, whether it's directly pushing people towards your product or if it's helping in other ways. So again, we're going to dive right in, but if there is anything you take away, again, lightly, thoughtfully, appropriately. Let's start with number one. Take stock of your brand's foundation first. So what do I mean? I mean, you got to sit down if you haven't done this already and really look at where everything is. The main areas that we've seen that are having the biggest effect, obviously supply chain, current inventory. How much do you have? How much do you need to sell through in order to help you with the third, which is current cash flow? Do you have a lot of cash to spare? Are you in a really healthy position, or not so much? Maybe you're waiting on your next shipment that never ended up coming in. I don't know. The fourth would be overhead expenses. So taking a look at all of those, deciding, A, is our supply chain solid? Is it, obviously we don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but is it solid enough, at least for the next week, for the next 2 weeks? Maybe it's completely solid for the next year. Current inventory. I mean, that's self-explanatory. What do you have? How much do you need to push through? And then, current cash flow, can you float a budget right now? And then overhead expenses. What can you slim down to create more cash flow? What can you cut in order to stay afloat, in order to stay alive? And this all leads me to the final, is stamina. So depending on how you answered those last four is going to determine what your stamina and is what we're finding is the most valuable and most necessary attribute right now within this current climate. Do you have the stamina to hold on, to continue to operate in some way, shape, or form? And that is then going to lead me to the next point. If after taking stock, you are green lights, yay, that's awesome. Not everybody is as fortunate to be in that position right now. So here's what you're going to do next. It's going to lead you to number two, which is brainstorm how your product fits into this new reality. Is it a product that can replace a service that was previously done outside the home? So does it have to do with, a nail salon? Or is it help you have some type of DIY version of a photography photo shoot? Or is it replacing the weekly trip, not weekly, the monthly, visit to the salon to get your hair re-dyed? Point is if you have a product that can translate into the DIY version of a service that people can't really access anymore, that's a great way to position it. Next one is it a product that easily translates to the home? So some products, this is like a no-brainer. The product already existed in the home. It only exists in the home. So now that people are quarantined, sheltering in place, it's a natural transition. So, you've got bed sheets, you've got cookware, you've got homewares, you've got loungewear, slippers, whatever. That's going to be a natural fit. Now, maybe that's not you. So then, maybe you've got a product that's more general. So for example, we have a client that sells hair ties. From first glance, that could feel like a really hard, unnatural sell right now. But think about what you use hair ties for. You can use them for home workouts. You can use them, to help hold your hair up while you're working from home. You can embrace the messy bun, which is a little bit more of like a casual conversational type approach. But the point is that take your product, think about all of its benefits and features, and then how does that translate into the home? Or how does that translate into, sheltering in place, being in quarantine, staying kind of in the same space? I think the other question is if you don't have an easily adaptable product, so like hair ties, it's not like, you don't think like, oh, I'm at home, hair ties. But say you've got a situation like that. The other one would be to go through this brainstorm of questions. So ask yourself, how can it provide comfort? How can it make a daily action easier? How can it cheer somebody up? How can it be useful? How can it serve as a gift, celebrating someone from afar? So the problem is that not all products are going to be super useful and super relevant or very top of mind during, this quarantine while we're trying to survive all the COVID-19 craziness. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it can't provide comfort. So comfort is a theme that we've been seeing over and over and over with all of our current clients that is really resonating, as well as ease, how it can make somebody's life just a little bit better. And that doesn't always mean that it needs to be super tactical. Sometimes it's providing a source of inspiration, a source of joy, a source of hope. So don't cut yourself short here. If maybe you're like, oh my God, well, I don't deliver groceries, so that's it, I'm going to throw in the towel. That's not necessarily true, because people are still going to have birthdays, and people are still going to have anniversaries, and people are still going to have sad days that they're going to need something that provides a little extra, a little something. I know there are going to be people that are like, this is the problem with consumerism. But you know what? Sometimes a happy little package on your doorstep can make the difference between a really shitty day and an okay day. So get to brainstorming. So once you've decided how you're going to position yourself within the new reality, quarantine, sheltering in place, everything that comes along with COVID-19, I'm going to lead you to number 3. And number 3 is, what benefits or features does your product currently provide? So when I talk about benefits versus features, I think of benefits as kind of those feeling heart triggers, okay? So these are going to be the things that are going against pain points, are really helping to alleviate something, to ease something, to provide a solution. And then when I talk about features, I think of those as like the very logical, thinking type of triggers. So these are going to be the things that are going to appeal to that part of a person. So that can be, whether it's your shipping time, or, how long something lasts, or if you buy 2, you get 1 free, or whatever it is. Even offers go really well with the feature. So if you're running a sale or something like that, figure out what those are. So, going to benefits, a really good example would be, does your product make you sleep better? Does your product help you stay healthy while you're at home? Does the product ease the work from home transition? Will the product bring a smile to somebody's face? Will the product be a source of surprise and delight? Is the product a good distraction for, escaping the current reality? Those would all be more of those kind of feeling triggered benefits. And then in terms of features, like I said before, is it free shipping? Is it fast shipping? Is it same day delivery? Is it pickup? Is it stock up and save? Whatever it is, figure out what those are, because those are going to be the things that you're going to communicate within your ad creative, within your marketing, within your emails, whatever it is. And again, like I said at the beginning, you want to be thoughtful about this, okay? So you don't want to be tapping into people's anxieties. There's a difference between saying, get more sleep, wake up rested, feel more prepared for your day, versus, like COVID-19 got you up all night, can't sleep because, there's a global pandemic. Obviously, one of those is a better route. That was working copy before, so don't judge me on that. But you get what I'm saying. Like, you want to be thoughtful, you want to tread lightly, you want to be appropriate. Obviously, this is way more towards benefits. Features, again, those are more facts, so you don't really need to kind of dance around those. And before I move on to kind of the ending strategies, because this is a little gray and not super black and white totally on like what are best creative practices within quarantine or COVID-19, because we've never been here before. We took some time and put together a deck. It's 100% free. There's no ulterior motives other than to just share what we've learned so far, not only from our last 5 years of, running campaigns, but as a creative director, knowing, what's the right way forward with messaging, with visuals, etc. So you can get that below. There's a link to sign up. And again, it's just going to help you see what are good examples and how to translate that into your own ad creative. Get that below. Again, how to market, visual examples. I break it all down. It's worth getting. But the last couple points, it's going to be a fork in the road, okay? So if in the beginning, after we went through the foundations, you said that we've got the stamina. I think at least we've got the stamina for another maybe 2 months, another 3 months. I am going to tell you something that I don't think a lot of people are going to tell you, and it's to be bold and to have a little bit of courage here. And by courage, I mean the courage to try and really keep your business afloat and in the green, because that's a scary thing to do right now. I feel that. I don't say that lightly. But what we're seeing is exponential growth for the clients that do have the stamina, for the ones that are lucky enough to have enough supply, to have a supply chain that's still working. Right now, the metrics that we're seeing on Facebook, we have not seen, we haven't seen since, what year is it? It's 2020. We haven't seen since, 2015, 2016. Like, we're talking really, really low CPMs. Average order value is higher than we expected it to be. There might be a little bit less volume, but right now, it's never, I hate to say it, but it's never been a better time. You've got massive retailers right now that don't have a supply chain, which is terrible. But it has opened up a lot of space within this field. And so if right now you're feeling really scared, really lost, do we pull back on spend? Do we push spend? Do we spend at all? If you have the stamina, the answer would be go for it. Obviously watch your analytics, obviously watch your, KPIs and your margin, and make sure you're still making money. But again, if you have the stamina, there is room where previously there was less room. So I think that's like the most thoughtful way I can say that. We're seeing incredible numbers. And again, we update our performance pretty regularly, and we are very transparent about those numbers. I believe you can get those on our homepage. So if you want to see what we're seeing, because I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty right now, head to our homepage, I believe it's like right below the fold. And you'll see what we're currently seeing and you'll be like, okay, maybe we should keep spending. That leads me to one of my final points. So I want to take the other part of the path for those who unfortunately don't have the stamina. And first, I just want to say, I'm so sorry. This is terrible. We feel your pain. We're seeing it everywhere. The helpful thing to know is that you are not alone by any means in this situation. Big brands, small brands, everybody is feeling this on some level. So what I want to say to you is that it's time to go into brand building mode. And what does that look like? That means start planting seeds, because as corny as this sounds, just because somebody isn't going to be paying you right now and you don't have goods to offer them does not mean that you still can't gain customers. So now we're having to go back into what I said before, which is brand building mode. And so that's, what can you offer? What can you offer to your current audience, to your future audience, to people who are going to be attracted to your brand in the first place? Look at what your product vertical is in, and then look at what you can offer people who are interested in that. Do you have expertise in A, B, C, D, E, F, G? And if you don't have expertise, like maybe your product is just a little bit more for fun. It's a little less, like dire need situation. A great example would be to call in other experts that can provide value to your current community. And then you can do this through email. You can do this through, Instagram, Facebook Lives, IGTV, whatever it is, but stay engaged organically with current customers and future customers. And then, the other thing is, now's the time to look at that to-do list. We call it, I guess I call it my disgrace list, which is all the to-dos that I've, really wanted to get to, but they just get pushed. So whether that is, finally implementing all of those, conversion rate optimization strategies that you've been meaning to do on your site, maybe it's trying to figure out how to up your average order value. Maybe it's finally doing that lead gen booklet or guide or whatever, or crafting the quiz that helps point people to the right product. Whatever that is, now is the time to do it, to take heart, to know that this is not going to last forever, and don't spend the money if maybe that's not the best choice right now. Just, connect good old organically. The main thing beyond the tread light, tread carefully, thoughtfully, appropriately, is just to remember that I know it can feel really, really icky to sell right now. But at the same time, you have a business, and all of us small business owners understand and appreciate that. If you have a product that can provide comfort, can provide ease, obviously anything that can provide, either of those at home, anything that's an online service, anything that's directly correlated, even loosely correlated to moments of joy, to moments of celebration, that matters. And even though we are no longer going out and about and shopping as we normally would, even making purchases online as we normally would, that doesn't mean that there is not room to keep your business afloat, to keep your sales going, and to find customers that are going to want and love and cherish your product, especially during this really, really terrible, scary time. So go forth, take heart, go easy on yourself. These are really unbearable, unfathomable times. So just be gentle. Again, there's a link below to get that deck for the COVID-19 messaging and creative strategies. And as always, if after watching this, you're like, wow, I feel like they really know how to transition this terrible, scary global pandemic. For small brands and big brands, we do. We are seeing great strides and making great shifts and pivots with all of our current clients. So there's a link below to get in touch with us as well. Otherwise, I will be back next week doing something e-commerce, advertising. I'm sure it'll relate to COVID-19 as well, as long as we're in this. And until then, please stay safe, and I will talk to you soon.